Okay. Hi, everyone. I know that we have some members joining us today for this virtual session. So I do welcome you. Thanks for your patience as we had just a little bit of a delay starting, but hey, that's rock and roll, right? So I'm Jill Riley. I'm the host of the Currents Morning Show. Just want to send out a huge thanks to you for supporting the Current, for supporting these virtual sessions. And, it's been a wild ride in this past year as we've been doing everything we can to keep you connected to the artists that we play on the Current. So I'm pretty excited to welcome, this might be our first member virtual session that we've connected with a UK artist. I'm thinking that that's the deal. So, again, hang out for the lunch hour. We're going to get some great music and we'll have a conversation as well with Beabadoobee.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing well. So can I call you B? What do you like to be called?
You can call me B.
Excellent. All right. Well, B, thanks for connecting with the Current today. So where are you right now?
I'm in London at the studio with my guitarist Jacob, who I've been making music with. He's going to be playing some songs with me.
Hi, Jacob. How are you?
Did they ask how are you?
I saw you creep in there a little bit. All right. Excellent. Hey, so how are things in London right now?
It's been alright. Like, things are opening up slowly but surely. We've been to the pub a couple times. But yeah, still strange. But yeah, you can eat outside. You can go to the pub as long as you're in the garden. But yeah.
I think we're starting to see kind of that light at the end of the tunnel where, here where I live in the Twin Cities in Minnesota, it's, I think we're kind of on our way to slowly opening things even more. But it's still, I think we've been in this situation so long that, I even find myself being a little skittish around people, but boy, I'm ready to get out and see live music. And I bet you're ready to just get on the road and play live.
Yeah, no, definitely. I just can't wait for festivals. I can't wait to see people being together. It's going to be really weird though. I feel like everyone got a bit awkward through the lockdown. So
I've always been a little bit awkward, so maybe I'll just have a little more in common with people. So Beabadoobee joining us for a virtual session over the lunch hour here. Before we talk more, and I do want to talk about, some of the dates that I've seen lined up for you, hopefully for this summer and into fall. It'd be great if you wanted to play some music to start. So it'd be great to get a song from you. I think this is the first one that I remember playing from you on the Current, so it's nice that you picked this one. So she plays bass. Can you help me set this one up a little bit? Just when did you write this one? When did you record it?
I wrote this, I think 2018, 2019 for my EP, Love Worm. I worked with this guy called Pete Robertson and my engineer Joseph Rogers, and yeah, they brought this song to life. It's one of my favourite songs. Yeah, she plays bass. It's about my bassist, Eliana, who's a good friend of mine. She's my best friend.
Excellent. All right, well, let's hear it for this virtual session on the Current.
Sick. It's
I'm with Beabadoobee. That was She Plays Bass. You know, when we first started playing your music here on The Current, I remember taking a look at your name and going, Beabadoobee. Okay, I wonder if that's a nickname. And I'm sure you've been asked this question, B. Can you tell us the story of when did that become kind of like your stage name?
I mean, like, I never really expected this to be a thing, so I, like, when my friend Oscar, who at the time was releasing my music on all, like, the streaming platforms, he said, you need an artist name to go by. And at the time I had, like, a separate Instagram account just for, like, me and my mates. It's called, like, a Finsta, and it was called Beabadoobee because, like, none of the names were being accepted on the app. And I was like, no one's gonna listen to my music, Oscar, just, like, use that name, use, like, my other Instagram name. And now we're here.
And now there's no changing it, you know?
There's
it was
no
meant
changing
to be.
it. I think it's sweet, though.
Yeah, I think it is, too. And you know what? I mean, it just kind of, even going back there to kind of the beginning, you know, just to get you to know you a little bit more, just about kind of the beginning of when you started playing music, you know, between now, today when we're talking, and when you actually picked up a guitar, I mean, things have moved pretty fast for you, I would say, in a few years. So can you kind of take us back to when you started playing music?
I started playing music when I was, like, 17, like, towards, like, going to 18. And my dad had brought home a guitar because he said I looked sad. I just got kicked out of school, so he was like, you should start playing this and this would be a good distraction for you, type of thing. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I can't go forward. Now you get kicked out of school, but I mean, everything was okay? Like, you weren't in any big trouble, were you?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it was an all-girl Catholic school, so it's just like, yeah, weird stuff happened in that school. I'm glad they kicked me out because I wouldn't have started making music and I wouldn't have, you know, made the friends I did. So
Yeah. I don't know if I would have lasted either. I think I would have been kicked out of an all-girls Catholic school. Even though, I mean, I grew up with a strict Catholic mother, Catholic grandmother, you know, so I know the deal, but, you know, you never know. Like, okay, so this one thing happens and then you're able, because of it, to pick up a guitar. You know, had you thought about songwriting before? I mean, had you tried your hand at, you know, visual art or poetry or anything? Where did the songwriting part come from?
sorry. I used to write a lot of, like, poetry when I was a kid. I was really into story writing. Loved, like, creating stories. They had this thing at school called, like, reading records, and you'd have to, like, read a book and write, like, a little summary of what happened and, like, how you made it and how it made you feel. And I was reading a book at the time, and I remember just, like, completely not reading the book and, like, just creating a whole entire story on my reading record. And I was like, the cover looks like it's about detectives, so I'm just gonna go and make a story of myself by myself and tell my teacher it's about this when it's completely, like, I just haven't even touched the book. So yeah, I did a lot of that growing up, and I played violin for, like, 7 years, and I remember writing a song for, like, show and tell in year 7 when I was, like, 11, and I got a girl to sing it for me because I was too shy to sing it, so I taught her how to sing it. She sang it for my show and tell. Yeah, it's quite strange.
That's pretty incredible. I think you're maybe a natural born singer, songwriter, and producer. You know, if you're willing to get other people in the front with you. But yeah, I mean, I guess so. You know, if you played violin, you know, picking up a guitar, it must have felt a little familiar. I guess, how did you go about learning? I mean, I remember when I learned guitar, and this would have been in the 90s, you know, I've had to buy guitar books, but I imagine that you can do just about anything if you hop on YouTube. So what was your kind of path to learning guitar?
Just like YouTube tutorials, and like I learned like some of my favorite songs I played. I learned, yeah, no, that doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I loved Elliott Smith. I still love him, so I learned a few of his songs. I remember one of the first songs I'd ever learned on guitar was Sixpence None the Richer, Kiss Me.
Kiss me.
Kiss me.
Excellent.
Yeah. So the chords to Coffee are quite similar. But yeah, no, it's quite funny. But yeah, just literally just YouTube, and like when I discovered like tunings, it was, you know, it made it way easier for me, because, you know, I'm still like a beginner and like learning. Tunings make it easier.
Right. I mean, if I remember that too, like playing a lot of open chords when I was learning, just so, you know, I could play the guitar and have it sound like something. You know, much less trying to, you know, kind of learn to write lyrics and to actually come up with songs. But I think that when you're first learning, maybe there's a nice kind of simplicity there. You know, if you know 3 or 4 chords, then you kind of know what you're working with. I mean, was that kind of your feeling, like, okay, I can, you know, learn some simple songs, and out of that, I kind of can do what I want?
Yeah, no, definitely. It was like artists like Kimio Dawson, and like, you know, her band when she was in the Moldy Peaches, like I remember listening to that and being like, oh, like you don't need much, you just need a guitar, and you need just a couple of chords and you have a song, type of thing. And yeah, that stuff really motivated me. That's how like all my songs kind of start off, like especially like everything that's out currently. It all started from just like me on an acoustic guitar.
Well, let's hear some more of your music. I know you're going to play "Care" from the record "Fake It Flowers," and also I'm glad that you put "Coffee" on your list, because I want to talk about that song. Because I mean, really, that's kind of the one that started it for you. So, how about we just do 2 in a row, and then we'll talk a little bit more. And hey, to the members that are listening and watching this virtual session right now, if you have any questions for Beabadoobee, there's a Q&A option. I think it's either down here or up here, and maybe over here, but it's somewhere in this vicinity. So you can drop a question in there, and we'll kind of hold them to the end. So Fake It Flowers. Now, this came out last fall, right?
Yeah, October last year.
Yeah. How did it feel to, now I know you had kind of like a string of EPs. How did it feel to get, I mean, your debut full-length record? I mean, that had to have been just like out of this world.
Yeah, it was really overwhelming, and it was really nice, like kind of having like just an album, my first debut, and it being about my life, it being really personal to me. So yeah, that was really important.
Well, let's hear a couple songs here, and then we'll talk some more. So this one is called "Care."
It's been a while since I talked about it. Maybe it's time to cooperate. I need someone to forget about it. I don't want your sympathy. Stop saying you give a shit, 'cause you don't really care, 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 yeah, care. This next one's called Coffee. Don't stay awake for too long. Don't go to bed. I'll make a cup of coffee for your head. You'll get you up and going out of bed. And I promise that one day I'll feel fine. And I promise that one day I'll feel alright. And I'll make a cup of coffee with the right amount of sugar, how you like it. And I'll make a cup of coffee with the right amount of sugar, how you like it. How you like it. Don't know how long I'll stay for. It's okay, I'll knock on your door. Won't you come down and get me? I like it when you hold me tight. You make me feel nice. The green in your eyes makes me feel warm inside. And I'll make a cup of coffee with the right amount of sugar, how you like it. And I'll make a cup of coffee with the right amount of sugar, how you like it. How you like it.
That song is so sweet. I just love it. It's yeah, it's one that could go on for about 6 minutes, I think. I was just starting to drift off and think about my friends and think about the people that I love. So that song is called Coffee. I'm joined by singer-songwriter Beabadoobee for today's current virtual session. Welcome again to the members who are hanging out and watching this session today. We thank you for your support of this public radio station and, giving us the resources we need to bring you these virtual sessions. So it's great that we can keep you connected with these artists. That song, that's always going to be like kind of the beginning for you. I mean, how does it feel to play that? Just like playing that today. Now, was that the song that you talked about, like uploading to the internet and like, oh, just put it under Beabadoobee and it'll be all fine?
Yeah, that was a song. It was like one of the first songs I'd ever written on guitar. Yeah.
Yeah. So, there was a pretty big reaction to it. I mean, when it was uploaded to, did you say that it was like Instagram and that it started to get attention there?
So me and Oscar put it on like Spotify and on Apple Music and on like the streaming site. It was like first on Bandcamp for a while. And we just kind of had it on there for a bit, and then it started gaining like traction on like Instagram. People were like commenting, saying if I was the coffee girl, and I was like, I've never served coffee a day in my life. I don't know what they're talking about. And I was like, oh crap, it's the song. And we were like, oh, that's cool. So we put it on like streaming sites. And yeah. that's how it started.
So when you put it on the streaming sites, how did you find out that, other than maybe like hearing from people on social media like that, how did you start to find out that, oh, wow, this is really gaining some traction?
I think it was like I just saw kind of like people, like the streams kind of going up, and people recognizing me on my social media as like a musician, and they were kind of expecting more coming, and then I got interest from labels, and that's how I started. That's how I made my EP Lice. Like, I think this label like paid for a studio, and then me and Oscar recorded the whole EP in like a day and released it a month after or something. But yeah, it was quite quick, but I was still doing school, so it was a lot to do.
Yeah, I bet it was just like, is this real? I mean, is this real life? How is this happening? Well, clearly happening because, you wrote a song, I think, that people just were able to connect to. And I think that goes back to, the simplicity of these are the chords you have. And then the other tools that you have are just the ability to put words together that are relatable. When you talked about, having your first full length record out, Fake It Flowers, and, talking about how, it's a really personal record for you. Do you feel like your fans connect with you in a deeper way because you're kind of able to be so vulnerable with your songwriting?
Oh yeah. Like, if anything, they watched me grow up. They've kind of seen me go through all of it, like, especially the people who have known me since Coffee. They've seen, like, every hair color, every, relationship weird thing, and, like, yeah, I think I feel like the people that listen to my music, if I didn't make music, we'd just be friends, They all dress cool and listen to similar music as me, so, yeah.
How does it feel to have people kind of look up to you? Do people ask you for advice or, even outside of music, I would think that just knowing what I know of musicians and fan culture, that there's such a strong bond that can be formed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's really flattering. It's like quite scary at times because it's just like, I don't want to change myself with the idea that, I'm a role model to people, because I want to continue being myself, and hopefully that can help girls that look like me, that, were like me, kind of do their own thing. And I never really had that when I was growing up, like, until, like, I obviously discovered Lush and, like, Karen O, but I remember just growing up and not having, and Filipino, like, women on stage playing guitar. So it's nice knowing that I can be that to at least one girl.
I love that. I love hearing that. And I think that there's something kind of to that with this generation of singer-songwriters. I mean, I think that there are so many great, female singer-songwriters coming up right now. And I remember when I was a teenager in the 90s, it was like there were maybe like one or two kind of appointed, Alterna girls. And then that was it. Because there were others out there. But they kind of got filtered out through the music business, you know what I mean? But I think that, you and a lot of others have this advantage of kind of having the streaming possibility and the internet and social media to connect with people and to get your name out there. But I suppose that there's an up and a downside to that.
Oh yeah, like, I think anything in excess is bad, and, like, the internet is an amazing place to, share music, discover music, and it's definitely helped my career, and, being able to kind of gain people to watch me grow. But that does come with, a lot of downsides, like, the attention and feeling like you're being watched under a microscope or something. which can be really scary. And I hate pressure, but I've been, trying not to like dwell on that too much, and I'm still working on it. Like, I'm still trying not to care about stupid comments. I'm still, trying to do my own thing, and numbers are like the last of my worries. Like, I try not to look at like any numbers at all, because it just like, I remember when, Coffee blew up with, the remix.
Yeah.
That was really overwhelming. So I was like, oh my God, I had never expected like this amount of people to like even listen to me about like a song, quite an intimate song about like making my boyfriend like a cup of coffee type of thing. So it was like strange. But it is really like nice to know that people care about the music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that that remix version, was that just last year that was released? What was the name of the artist that did the Deathbed Coffee for Your Head? Was it Pao Fu? Okay.
Yeah.
And how did he find out about your song, or did you know him? Did you meet him? How did that come together?
Well, he made the remix and like had it on SoundCloud for a while actually. And so it had existed for like maybe longer than a year. But then they asked my label, and he was like, oh, do you mind if I release this song on like Spotify and Apple Music? And I said, yeah, for sure, without even like thinking, it was gonna like blow up the way it did. But yeah, it was just, he only released it last year. Mm.
Yeah, and then it kind of came the, I don't know, almost kind of like a TikTok love song, I guess, And that's been another kind of incredible thing about, even as I'm talking about new artists on the radio, radio isn't necessarily like the number one avenue for artists to get heard now. And it's interesting for me to like wrap my head around that you can upload songs online and get the attention without having to go through like kind of the bull crap end of the of the music industry. But if you're going to enter the music industry, maybe being able to do it on your own terms, because you've kind of almost proven yourself in a little bit of a way first.
Yeah, like TikTok is a great place to like discover new music. I think it's like even if you're not releasing music on there, people are like, putting songs in the background of the videos. Like I put the Lean Over by Life Without Buildings, and that completely blew up after that TikTok. So much that NME did like interviewed like C. Tompkins. But it was, it's like, I think it's just nice knowing that people are constantly creating art, like, no matter where they started from, like if it's on TikTok or if they played loads of gigs and they got noticed type of thing.
Yeah. It's like it doesn't necessarily have to be just one avenue or one platform anywhere, which is really nice because, the more the better. I'm with Beabadoobee. Hey, members, thanks for hanging out for a current virtual session. And so, B, I know you're going to play another song. Before you do that, I do have a member that wanted to ask a question. And Marissa, I'm glad that you asked this because, you talked about coffee being remixed, but I know that you've also collaborated with artists. I did want to bring up the 1975. So I'm glad that Marissa is asking, who is your dream artist to collaborate with? So I wonder if maybe you want to start there and then we can talk about, some other people you've collaborated with.
I think we've done a few sessions, we've collaborated on a few songs recently, and they're like my dream collaborations I've done, and I don't know whether I should say them, but we've worked with someone recently, and I've always wanted to work with that person. Tell me.
I understand if you can't, but
and then I think my dream, I don't know, it'd be like something like completely unattainable, just so I don't know, like Frank Ocean was just amazing, and I know that's never going to happen because he's a god, and like Alex G, who's another god. And
Yeah, but now that you've said it,
yeah.
you've put it out into the universe.
Just had to say it because they're just like one of my two favorite like musicians. Yeah.
All right, Frank Ocean, we're calling on you. Beabadoobee wants to work with you, okay? But I know that yeah. So what's your connection to the 1975? Are you guys on the same label? How did you guys meet? I know that you've done some stuff together.
Yeah, so we're on the same label, and we wrote, and Matty and George produced this EP that's coming out. Yeah, and then we did a song called Last Day on Earth that's out. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's perfect because that's the last one you're going to play for us. Before you do, I want to thank a few people. Producer Jesse Wiza, engineers Peter Eklund and Tom Campbell today. Again, thank you to the members of Minnesota Public Radio for supporting all the great music, for making space on the radio. Now, there isn't space on the radio everywhere for a great singer-songwriter like Beabadoobee, but you make it happen here in Minnesota. And that the only reason that the Current is around is because of member support. So we appreciate you for doing that. And yeah, this new song, Last Day on Earth, I'm glad you're playing it. Can you give me a little background on this song? I mean, you mentioned who you worked with, but I guess what was kind of the motivator here?
So we made this EP on a farm, and it was like during the heart of lockdown, and we were all like quarantining together, and almost felt really like apocalyptic, and like we wanted to make a song to, you know, to have when it's finally like, you know, the summer of love and togetherness, and that's why it's so uplifting and quite upbeat. And lyrically, it's like almost like an over-exaggeration of like the state we were living in and what we could have done if we would have known that everything was going to close and everything we couldn't do what we could do. Almost felt like the world was ending. Kinda.
Yeah. But, I mean, when things feel apocalyptic, things can really get dark really easily. Was there ever like okay, well, we're going to like write this song. Like, what would you do if you knew that tomorrow that was it? We got to go away for a year. I want to think that I would be full of positivity, but sometimes I get those dark thoughts in there like, I have some ideas.
Yeah, I mean, like if you have nothing to lose, then
Right. Like, I don't want to go out and kill someone. I'm not saying that, but I mean, I might exhibit some behaviors that I might otherwise not if there were going to be consequences the next day. You know what I mean?
Fair point.
Yeah, but I'm glad you're keeping it positive because, I mean, that's what we need as we're going to kind of transition out of this and back to life. And I know that you have festival dates on the calendar for this summer and fall.
Yes.
Are you playing?
Happening.
Hopefully, yeah. Like fingers crossed, because it's kind of hard. I'm sure it's kind of hard to know exactly at this point. But I mean, I saw you on the schedule for Reading Festival. I mean, that's wild.
Yeah, it's gonna be really fun. I can't wait to play that festival.
Yeah, well, I can't wait for you to do it. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for hanging out over the lunch hour with us.
Me.
Yeah, of course. We're loving your music. Congratulations on all your success, and I hope for the best for you and wish for the best for you. So, yeah, let's hear that final song, "Last Day on Earth." Beabadoobee with us here, the Current virtual session.
My guitarist Jacob's gonna play with me, so if you hear another guitar twiddly bit, he's over there.
Hi, Jacob. We didn't forget about you.
Church. Oh, follow me, shoot. I wanna get fucked up at home, be naked, alone, and turn up my phone. Cause this song I wrote is just so fucking sick. It goes shoot doop doo, shoot doop doop doo. Wait, I got something to say. What's that? I forgot. Wait a minute, the words about to end, so I'm gonna have to finish. Guess if it were nicer, we'd be better off in it. Haven't got a plan, so I think I'm gonna wing it. Naked, alone, with this song I wrote, and it goes like this. It goes shoot deep doo, shoot doop doop doo, shoot doo, shoot doop doo, yeah, shoot doo, shoot doop doop doo, yeah, 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 shoot doo, shoot doop doop doo, shoot doo, shoot doop doo, yeah, shoot doo, shoot doop doop doo, yeah, 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 yeah. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. You are
Thanks for having
awesome.
me.
Yes. Have a good rest of your day. Okay.
You too. You
Okay.
too.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Yep.
Bye.